Hello, I'm Stan Stoliker with Hub Culture, and we're at the Clinton Global Initiative 2014 in New York. We're going to take a quick look now at the concept and the topic of digital identity and what that means for companies, NGOs, and other attendees here at the 2014 initiative. There's actually a very interesting movement happening at the kind of base level of the internet right now around the idea of digital identity. When you think about what digital identity is, it's actually a very vague concept right now because it doesn't have a concrete parameter by which people can evaluate it. When we look at identities, they're actually issued to us from two different areas. One is the sovereign, the state, which gives you a driver's license or a passport or some other kind of state level identity. And then over here in the digital world, you have digital identities which are granted to us from generally corporations like Google or Yahoo or Facebook. What's interesting about these digital identities is that right now, these companies own your identity. They actually own the data that makes up the value of your identity and the context of your identity, and they sell that data as a means of providing you that identity for free. There are people, however, who feel that there may be another approach to issuing and forming digital identities for consumers across the planet, and Hub Culture is one of those organizations. We're actually working very closely with the MIT Media Lab and MIT Open Source Licensing on a new project called Open Mustard Seed. Open Mustard Seed is an open source program that gives individuals ownership of their own data on the internet. And this is a key fundamental progress over the existing methods of data ownership that exist on the web today. Instead of a corporation or a digital entity owning your data, through this technology with Open Mustard Seed, you can actually start to own your own data. So with this in mind, Hub Culture is announcing a commitment here at the Clinton Global Initiative to enable open data ownership for members of the community. Now, open data ownership means that any member of Hub Culture now has access and the ability to own their own data related to our social network. Our members have actually always had that, and it's been a key component of our terms and conditions. We've never really made a big deal about it because the technology that was needed to form a kind of vault has been in development. But that technology is now here. And what it does is it gives our members their own ownership of data that they're putting into Hub Culture. And what happens is that when you put that data into that vault, it spits out a new type of badge. And that badge is called HubID. This was announced a few months ago at Davos at the World Economic Forum and is now live and rolling out across the Hub Culture network. When you have a HubID, you're actually getting authenticated, verified digital identity from Hub Culture that you own on an individual basis. And what this means is that you can use that badge across the web and in a variety of different areas on the internet in ways that you haven't previously been able to use identity. So the core idea of HubID is that you own your identity and that data goes into this vault. And when you actually want to move around, another entity can look at your data, or not actually the full data, but points of data that are represented from the data that you put into your vault. And we manifest this in terms of aura via a selection of tabs that are different colors tied to this initial data point that you put into your vault. So when a person wants to look at you and your badge or your identity on the web, they don't see all that private information, they just see a little tab of color that represents that information. And Hub Culture authenticates that information on your behalf, but grants you individual ownership of your own data on the web. This is a transformative approach to the way that identity is being managed on the internet today, and it gives the individual the ability to monetize and control the way their data is used. It's also very important for privacy. We at Hub Culture believe that privacy is paramount for the consumer or for the member, but that at the same time, regulatory and other legal restrictions that are coming into place with regard to data should be respected. This strikes a very unique balance between the two, where privacy can be maintained, but if a law enforcement or another regulatory group needs to see some aspect of identifying data, they can access it by asking the person individually and directly. This technology enables that to happen and completely upends the old models around data ownership and privacy on the internet. We're really excited about it with Hub Culture, and we're looking forward to working with corporations here at CGI to bring it to a wider audience. It's going to be a very, very powerful tool to enable people around the world to control their own destiny on the web. And we think it's one of the most important topics happening on the internet today, and one of the most important discussions happening. So check out HubID on hubculture.com and get your badge today. For Hub Culture, I'm Stan Stoniker at the Clinton Global Initiative 2014.